So we are here to start the conversation about minimum housing standards. And Tom sent us Dover's. Did you all see that?
Yep.
Okay. I managed to read that. Okay, I was very pleased. I have a question before we start. I am remembering that in the last year and a half, Mike, we were talking about doing something, some ordinance to include some state.
It was far more sweeping than I think what Mr.
Because,
Clark
and you
is
came to us and said,
suggesting.
and you came to us and said, oh, I don't know, you wanna think about that because.
For Summers, we're
So
we
what-
don't have an entire
what-
department to enforce.
What was it that we were doing?
That was a whole different thing. That was the property maintenance code.
Right.
And that, I still think we should not do.
Okay, so that's the distinction.
Right. The property maintenance code, I mean, people can call up and complain because you're changing the oil of your car in your driveway. Or if the grass is 4 inches tall, people can complain. It's just opens, I mean, Summers did have to hire one whole guy just to do that, full time. And he answers those calls. Then they're nitpicking. I won't say, or I can't say, that it's worthless.
But, so like say for instance on South Street, there's a house, a particular lighter shade of color. There's a white house that everyone knows, that likes to stack garbage on their front porch.
Yep.
Well, you're suggesting that we'll cover that.
The housing standards will,
Yes.
yes, because there is that.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
yes.
and a front porch falling off, or, you know, there,
Yep.
it says right in the title, minimum standard, so
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah, I just wanted to remember what it was
Yeah.
that we were
I
working.
mean, this was the approach that was suggested, maybe we take a look at it, Summers will say, you know, we've had great success, blah, blah, blah. They failed to mention they hired an entire staff member just to do that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, given that, so are you generally in favor of something like this? That we do something like this? Okay.
Yeah,
And
you need to have some type of a standard to go by.
Mhm. And is the board generally in favor of something like this? Okay, so then,
Can I ask
Yeah.
questions? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you have another thought. I don't wanna
no,
interrupt.
no, no, this is just kind of,
Your experience in Dover,
bless you.
as the fire chief, was positive working under these standards?
Yeah.
In conjunction with the building department?
Very much so, because,
I know they all moved,
yeah, when
under North
Tom was
State,
down
right?
at City Hall for the longest time, and then when they built the North End, they moved the inspection bureau, division, whatever you want to call it, up there.
Mhm.
So he ran that division, and you had all your plumbing and your health and your fire safety person there. And how it worked there is he took care of all the building end of it and everything that they had to do. And the fire department took care of life safety issues, right? Fire department inspection
Sure.
buildings, and if we went someplace on a residential end of it, or once our noses and knew we could do something about it.
Mhm.
So, from what Tom had and what you guys have read, is all the stuff that pertains pretty much to the housing itself.
Yeah, safety issues, you know,
Yeah.
Lighting, you know, enough windows, you know, no open.
Sure. Building
flames,
stuff.
Building stuff.
So, just having a conversation with Tom about it was the fact it doesn't really address a lot of life safety hazards within all of that material.
okay.
And so, rather than listing, well, we want you to do this, 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 and this, if this is adopted and something we go to on the fire side of things, Kevin does most of our inspections, but since we don't have, say, an inspection bureau kind of thing, that we have a section in there which will be kind of general, but we can have it that fire department standards on the life safety code and NFPA codes will be met. And then that would allow us to go in and do what we need to do and grab which portions that we would need to address on that kind of issue. Right? You agree with that? We don't want to get super specific and pin ourselves down to a lot of stuff that we would have a hard time taking
And being
care of.
general is a much better approach.
Would you pin it to a particular life, you know, life safety code, you know,
We could,
2012?
we could go in and pull out the general areas which we wanted to serve, but we wouldn't be as specific as picking up every single section to it.
I recall if we've looked at this in the past, I'm trying to remember the circumstance why we looked at it. It was on Front Street, where the fire, the kitchen fire they had.
Oh, yeah, down there.
We hadn't formally adopted the, I don't remember what year it was, 2006 life safety code, I think it was.
Mhm.
And we did, if you recall, when I think Ed was doing it, right? So the town
Yeah.
has formally adopted those already,
Yeah, what's the
so
newest
We're
one,
up to-
9 or 11?
12.
12,
Have we adopted that?
No, we
No,
just
yeah.
adopted 9 last year.
was it 9, okay?
And they come out with a 12, and they're working on 15 right now.
It occurs, you know, we have dealt with folks who've come to us for welfare issues. And in listening to some of the conversations of the situations in which they live, one wondered, you know, we've had some heating issues that sounded like substandard, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see where this could be really helpful when items like this come in. I do have some questions from reading all of this. I mean, I didn't review the definitions, I figure those are probably standard and, but so the defense of town employees that I saw, it's mostly, I think, terminology more than anything. No officer or employee of the city of Dover, active in the city of Dover, if discharged of his duties with respect to this chapter, shall render himself personally liable for any damage. So that, if discharge of his duties, does that mean if somebody has lost his job because of it? I don't know.
If we're there doing something, and something else happens, we can't be held liable.
So in the discharge of their duties, what,
So
they're acting on
In
behalf of the
in
city
the
or town.
discharge of
Right,
their
in the
duties.
discharge of their duties.
That's not what that
Right.
says.
Right.
It's-
Oh.
So, I think maybe that's,
The different preposition is needed, I believe, so,
Yeah.
not if, it should be in discharge
In the
of his or her
discharge,
duties,
yeah.
right?
so that, okay, I mean, the rest of it made sense to me, I'm saying, well, I don't get
Oh, oh.
that.
Right.
So there was
I never
that.
read the damn thing.
Who wrote it?
I said, I never read it.
There you go.
Alright.
So the administration, so does the RSA require us to have a housing standards board?
It does.
Okay.
RSA 48A is the housing standards or RSA. And it said, I mean, it's pretty broad about the powers that it gives the municipality, but that is one of the requirements, is you have to have a housing standards board. It has to consist of 3 people, one of whom, person in charge of the health department, one person in charge of the fire department, and another municipal employee named by the select board. The select board
Is not,
cannot,
right, because we're one of the appeals,
Right.
as I read later on.
Right.
So we could, I see it currently reads health officer, so that's one of the required ones. Fire chief, one of the required ones, does that make sense? And then another employee, so the Dover named the planning director.
yeah.
Could it be you?
You could-
I mean,
Appoint whomever you like.
All right, but it couldn't, you're not an incompatible person,
Oh,
so it
oh.
could be.
Oh, certainly.
Sure, okay.
Oh,
Just
oh,
wanna
yeah,
make
yeah,
sure.
right, yes.
Okay. There has to be at least 3 members, okay. So I was interested in the garbage pickup because we've often heard that, you know, there are at least 4 units, they have to supply it.
Yeah.
Our front offices said that, it says, we don't have anything that says that. Dover does though. Although it says more than 4 units, I noticed.
Right, because in Dover, multifamily is considered 5 or more, so a lot of stuff is cut off at 4.
Hmm.
It's not to say that we couldn't amend that.
Right, and you don't have a transfer station?
We have a recycling site.
Recycling center. Okay, so we might need to make some changes to the language based, you know,
Sure.
those things. Then the only other comment was no eating or cooking in the bedroom. I thought that was interesting.
I'm sorry, no what?
No eating or cooking in the bedroom. No eating in the, I mean, you know, hello?
Kitchen facility and.
Well, yeah.
I would
Well, that
agree.
would- I understand, that's not exactly what it said.
But this, you know, I think also, this is kind of a reactive ordinance. I mean, we're not gonna go knock on the door and say, are you eating?
Right, in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Right.
I hear chips.
It was just.
No, but if you have someone operating a rooming house,
Yes.
yeah, illegally, right?
So it's a way to get at that.
I would think,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah, I see
So
what
there
you're
are
saying.
rooming houses
Yeah.
that we've heard of in other parts of the town,
Yeah.
Or you're renting a room.
Yeah.
not in the zone where it's allowed. Right, yeah.
So, I mean-
Plugged in or something.
Other than those things, I mean, the enforcement seems to kind of fall in line, the $100 per day up to, you know, whatever seems to
Yeah.
fall in line. Superior Court, we get our money back if you.
So, yeah.
So all of that sounds like it's compatible with the way we've structured other
Right.
ordinances. So how do we then best move this forward? Because obviously there's some things that need to be changed just to
Yeah.
make it.
I think that would be key. I mean, if you make the modifications or, you know, I don't know, the thing I sent is a PDF or just,
So it is a PDF, we could get it into a Word. That's
oh,
not-
yeah, so,
I did have a question on infestation though, now that I'm remembering, I'll go find it, to see if it would. First of all, it seems to say that the owner is responsible if it's in more than one unit.
The first thing is that's-
Infestation.
Oh, infestation, okay.
Infestation.
Sorry.
yeah, right, it said something like if it's one unit, then the person.
Yeah, let me see if I
can.
can, yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, but that's
So
something else.
I'm just looking to see whether, does it fit with what, you know, we're currently
Yeah.
dealing with? So I was interested in that.
And that's, that could be
Heating,
modified.
space, overcrowding. Where was it?
Is there an overcrowding number?
Yeah.
And-
There is in the building code, there's life safety code for new construction, and the housing standards ordinance deals with older buildings, apartments, and that kind of stuff.
I'm thinking of a family that has the in-laws move in with them with
Yeah.
their 3 kids, and
I
Yeah,
can't
it's-
find it.
it's their house, they're
Right.
helping their relatives.
Yeah,
Is there a?
this technically applies to any living unit.
Okay.
So even if it's your house and you have all those people and somebody says there, looks like there's a bunch of people in there, I mean, this would give us the authority to like knock on the door, but you'd be surprised that, in this, we've changed the housing standard ordinance to be consistent with the building code and the life safety code for residential units, which is 1 person for every 200 square feet of living area. And you'd be surprised, you know, if you do the division, how many people could fit in, like say, you know, 2,000 square foot house. If you had an apartment, you know, 2 or 3 bedrooms, the numbers add up, and it's, you can fit a bunch of people in.
Yes.
I mean, if you had, you know, the small 750 square foot apartments like they do in the mills or something like that, typically those aren't the things that we run into with issues anyway. It'd be some of the, you know, Main Street units probably. But there is that division.
So here it is, wherever infestation is caused, it's 119.9. Wherever infestation is caused by failure of the owner to maintain a dwelling in a rat-proof or reasonably insect-proof condition, or wherever infestation exists in 2 or more of the dwelling units in any dwelling, or in the shared or public parts of any dwelling containing 2 or more dwelling units, extermination shall be the responsibility of the owner. So actually, this doesn't hold true literally in the case that we're dealing
Dealing
with.
with,
Oh,
And why not?
well, because it's only in one
Only
unit.
one unit.
It says 2 or more units. But, so I'm just bringing it out because, you know, maybe something, so it is the responsibility of the occupant of the dwelling, if you read the next section, but that person is no longer there.
Right.
So,
And if it's just one unit, the responsibility is that of the tenant.
yeah,
That's kind of,
We don't have to.
I know, yeah. Yeah,
so that might need to, maybe that needs to tighten up a little bit so that it would help us in this
What might be
situation.
the case, because, I mean, that ordinance is fairly old, we've modified it, you know, a few
Yeah.
times, but, it certainly probably could do an overhaul, but in our case, the town's case, I think ours must have been 2 or more, meaning it excludes a single family. I'm thinking, because there's no way that if you're in a 5-unit apartment building and my unit has bed bugs, how's anybody gonna hold me responsible for fixing them? Or, if I were to leave, then, you're right, the burden of responsibility is.
There's no one at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So that one, I think, probably needs
Yes.
some
Little tweaking.
tightening or tweaking or whatever.
Yeah,
So, Did we have any other questions or comments about this? Did you get your question answered about the? Mike, anything?
I'm okay right now. So if you can get it converted to,
Yes, I can do that.
to a Word document, I'm happy to make
Well, that's
the
lovely.
necessary
Mike.
changes.
I'm happy to do that for you.
Thanks.
She has
I just don't have the software to
Yeah.
conversion,
I don't know how to do any of that.
so. I know how to do it if I have the software, I just don't have access to the software, so.
I'd be happy to do it. Especially if it means I'm passing it along.
When do we want, so we'll wanna review it one more time, and then,
Well, I think,
Look for a time
did you
for
take
public
notes? I mean,
hearing.
I would like you to sort of take a look at the,
yeah, I can-
the infestation thing.
Well, if you could send that to everybody so that
Yeah,
Chief could put it in the life
yes,
safety
and
code
you
stuff.
wanted
Yeah.
to do some tweaking for your stuff, so yeah, that would be helpful. You know, we need to see if all the garbage related stuff has to be modified somehow to take into account the
Yeah.
transfer station.
Mhm. So we'll want to, we're gonna have multiple edits, we're gonna wanna make it one document.
We
that
can,
can be edited.
we can put it on our website
On
and
the
pull out,
drive?
yes, we
Yeah.
can. If you, once you,
I'll
once,
share it with,
yeah,
once it's been modified.
yes. And as long as we all track, you know, there's a, I can help once,
Well, it's just gonna be easier, because if we're all making changes, we wanna
Right.
make sure they all,
yes.
Right.
they all get captured, so.
You know, you can make your change and then it'll say who made it. It's very lovely, that way I know it's Tom, so it's from a certain perspective, otherwise it's Jody or Mike, or, you know, so it's helpful.
Sure.
All right,
Well, basically, we guys will make changes, we'll be putting up some additions,
yes,
because it
Right.
doesn't
That's right.
address it.
Right,
So
absolutely.
we'll pick out what we figure we wanna add in there,
Yeah.
as generalization as we can, but slide it
yeah,
one section in there.
Right, I mean, if it's easier, I mean, you can just send it in a Word document, what you want, I can cut and paste and put it into where you think it should go, you tell me where it should go, and that's fine. But they're gonna be major edits though, I mean, we need to.
no, I like the sort of collaborative, it's
Do it
helpful.
collaboratively, yeah.
So, once we get this into a shape that we are comfortable with, then, you know, we'll have to do an ordinance.
Mhm.
I don't know, do we have to have a board in place before we do the ordinance? I mean, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
We'll have to look into that, but I think probably
Probably have it in place?
have a board.
All right, so we can put that on our agenda then.
I'll
Maybe
double
make up
check.
a board, but it has to be the health officer. It has to be the fire chief or a designee,
Does it say designate?
I don't know.
The RSA, I don't think says designate, but we've just always done it. In Dover, I mean, it doesn't, like, for instance, if the chief,
He's not there.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's something else.
He'd have a
fill the
deputy,
role,
as-
yeah.
oh, sure. Or we could put or designate just to make it,
Yeah, just so it's there, not leaving gaps.
Yep,
And yeah, it's our document, so we can
yeah.
throw that in there.
yep, okay. Well, we can't go against the RSA, that's the only,
Right.
it is, sort of-
Did I include the RSA? Maybe I should do that as well.
you, only by reference,
Okay, I'll send you guys that. The, you know,
current RSA
Yes.
40, whatever it is.
48A.
48.
All right. Very good. Is there anything else we need to talk about? This was actually pretty,
Yeah, I think,
we seem to be in agreement.
must be something wrong.
Right?
Mike, you made your own notes, do you want mine?
Sure, that'd be great, thank you.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's just a matter of getting the ball rolling, and the discussion comes in the details.
Yeah,
So what prompted the need for this,
the bug infestation.
that
Yeah.
issue with the wash?
But, you know, as we,
I think that was probably the final straw.
yeah, but as we've been
Yeah.
thinking, and certainly as I've been thinking about this, it's given me the opportunity to plug in, oh, well, if we'd known about that for this situation or that situation, you know, we've had people come to us, you know, there was that porch falling off a house once, we sent you and maybe you somewhere around South Street or something. and
Yeah.
So it's helpful to have, you know, some enforcement tools that have a, you know, bite to them. So there are consequences for people who ignore us.
I understand.
So,
Yeah, 'cause we had a
You
whole
need to
series of
adopt-
things,
You
and
need to
that
adopt
one was kinda like.
the ordinance first.
Pardon me?
I think you may need to actually adopt the ordinance first.
For the board, the health safety board? All right, well, you can be our legislative researcher.
So such, thanks. Appreciate that.
You've got a lot of experience there, we might as well use that, right?
Until I cut you, but I won't.
So when I think of it, that doesn't make sense, because how would you appoint the board if you
You
didn't
know,
have?
you've been empowered to,
Yeah, you
right?
didn't have the authority to do it, right?
Yeah.
I see, yeah, good.
That does make sense.
We could probably still talk about how we wanna make it up, you know, who.
Yeah, yeah, it says, you know, it's.
We can't impanel it, just maybe it.
Or consisting of at least 3 members, I mean, it could be more if you want.
We barely could,
I'm not suggesting it has to
yes.
be more, but
yes, thank you.
there are other provisions in here for a 5-person board if you want that.
He doesn't mind doing that because he knows he can't be one of them.
Well, the 5-member board, one of us, it has to be, so let's, take that one 3, yeah.
Really? I thought it said the select board or.
Yeah, I thought if
A
we're
board
also.
consisting of at least 5 members, 2 of whom shall be a head of the municipal health department, head of the municipal fire department, if such offices exist, and such other incumbents of municipal, blah, blah, blah. A selectman who currently serves as the head of the municipal health department may serve on such board, however, he or she must recuse him or herself from appointing authority and from his or her role as selectman during the appeals process.
Yeah, 'cause-
So you can serve, you just can't be a part of the appeals
Yeah.
process, so, which with a 3-member board certainly puts
Yeah,
those
yeah,
appellants at
exactly.
a disadvantage, I would say, but.
I agree. All right, anything else we wanna say about this?
I think it's a great first start.
Yeah, super, thanks for coming, appreciate it. All right, we're done. Until 6:30.
You meet Mr.